What's a saying that you've heard all of your life? Money does not buy happiness. Old people preach it all the time, but it's simply not true, and let me explain. Okay, this is actually a really complicated answer, and it depends on a bunch of things. So let me categorize you in a couple of tiers. So the first tier, you're a person who can't afford basic needs. You can't afford groceries, bills, rent, and other necessities. If you're in this tier, money will make you happier because more money equals less stress on average. Yeah, people who can't afford basic needs, aka poor people, are more stressed on average because, they have basically more problems to worry about. So yeah, if you're in this tier and you get a job promotion that will lead to more money, that will lead to happiness. Okay, next tier. You can afford common necessities, but you're not exactly rich. Like, you can afford groceries, bills, rent, but not luxury goods. Well, if you're in this tier, money will still lead to happiness. Again, it's the same thing as before. Even if you use the money for more than just basic needs, you will be happier on average. So if you're in those two tiers, which is basically every single person on earth, on average, you should be happier. But that's not true for the next tier. In the next tier, you're rich. Like, you have enough money. Like, unless you do something real stupid, you should be set for life. The answer is actually really complicated. So to give you an answer, let me explain the hedonic treadmill. The hedonic treadmill is a theory based on the observation that there is a tendency for people to quickly return to a relatively stationary level of happiness or set point despite experiencing major positive or negative events or life changes. So that means that money will only make you happy until a certain point, and after that certain point, it'll only bring you temporary joy. But then, why did I name this video Why Money Makes You Happy? Well, it's because most people on planet Earth aren't exactly rich. Most people here literally can just barely afford basic needs or can't even afford them. And if you're in those two tiers, we already know that money will bring you extra joy. But speaking of that certain point, let's see if you make enough money to reach peak happiness. For that reason, I searched through a couple of articles and found how much money you have to make to reach peak happiness in your state. So I hope you understand. Money does make you happy to a certain point. But anyways, just the end of this episode. If you would like to watch more, then click on these two videos. They're really interesting, and if they do entice you, then subscribe to my channel because that'll really help me out. But until next time, stay classy.